All right, welcome everybody to this installment. I'm having some technical difficulties, I think. I'm not sure if you can see me or not, but I'm going to go through the presentation anyway so that those looking to have it won't be left out in the dark. If there is technical difficulties, if you guys can't see me, we'll probably redo it at a different date, but nonetheless, I wanted to get something out there. So what we're going to talk about today is the 3 must-haves to be able to showcase yourself to college coaches. It's really rather simple. It's kind of a quick talk, but it's 3 things that we're going to go over and how to kind of put it together and present it so that you look appealing to college coaches. There's 3 things. There's a personal website. There is a consecutive kicks film and a highlight film, and we'll go over all 3 again, as I said, to kind of go break it down in general to find out exactly what we're needing to do and how to structure it and everything like that. So first thing we need kind of a hub for you, and that's going to be the website. Able to have the highlight films, good photographs of yourself, references, a little bit about you, who you are as a person, your grades, your contact information, your coach's contact information, and on down the road. I have an example here that I will share my screen and give you guys, as we're talking about it here, give you guys an example of what we're talking about here. If I can find it. There we go. So this is one of our guys here, and it is a pretty decent one. The opening paragraph might be a little long, but he gives a good understanding about who he is as a person, who he is as an athlete, who he is as a student. You go to the video section. It has a couple of his videos here. He's got his consecutive kicks videos, and then the other couple of videos that he has, consecutive kickoffs, consecutive field goals, etc., and so forth. His academic stats are posted. His athletic stats are posted. Everything's kind of posted, and he's got references. And as you can see, this is a nice, clean, cookie cutter type of website that is great. The best part about this website that I like is the URL address is the kicker's name. So when somebody types his name into Google, because his URL address is his name, it'll have a high ranking in Google. It'll pop up first. So that's why I really like this. Like I said, it's a great cookie cutter site. It's good for it's really easy to manage, easy to handle. The most important part about looking at these couple things is basically that don't make it too in depth. Don't make it too detailed to where the coaches can't. Coach is only going to spend 2 or 3 minutes evaluating you, so make sure that it's the stuff that you want them to see. You don't need to fulfill this website with 30 million pictures of yourself kicking. The main part is, as we talked about, the website, the consecutive kicks film, and the highlight film. So make sure those highlight film and the consecutive kicks film are front and center and ready to be accessed really easy. So the next thing we're going to go to is the highlight film. And the highlight film is, I've seen lots of good ones. I've seen lots of bad ones in my day. I have a oldie but a goodie here from back in 2010. I fast forwarded a little bit so that we didn't broadcast the contact info of this individual. But nonetheless, it's a great highlight film to use it as an example because it really shows just the kicking. And this is kind of the misconception amongst kids as they're starting to put together the highlight film is they'll include the whole entire kick, when really the only thing a coach cares about is from snap to kick and then through the uprights, or if it's a kickoff, from the time it leaves your foot to the time it hits the ground, or the time it goes into the returner's hands, or from punt for the time it is snapped to the time it hits the ground or goes into the punter's hands. If the punter takes it the other way and takes it 100 yards for a touchdown, that's not very good for your team. But nonetheless, that's 10, 12 seconds of footage that you're showing a coach that he doesn't care about, that you could be filling up with information about you. So I'll run a couple clips here so you guys can see what we're talking about here. In this one, he has a timeline. Again, this is a couple years old, so it's progressed a little bit that you can probably have different things. But nonetheless, you'll see how it's it's cutting right to when he's kicking off to right to about when it hits the ground. And then you can see if you have the technological advances, you can put the yards and the hang time down on the bottom of the screen. I will say, don't lie about that, because any coach that is truly evaluating you is going to double check that, and you don't want to have a negative mark because you're inflating your stats 3 or 4 yards or 3 or 4 tenth of a second on your hang time. So again, so we'll click through a couple of them. We'll try to fast forward here, maybe go to see some field goals. And like I said, the important part is just keep it small, right? And this is the one bad thing about the highlight film for this one, is it's pretty long. It's 9 minutes and 52 seconds. So, obviously a coach isn't going to be watching 15 kickoffs, right? So they're going to see 2 or 3 or 4 and pretty much make the decision if they want to invite you to camp or they want to start recruiting, et cetera, and so forth. So you want to make sure that you keep it short. I would say a great film is 3 or 4 minutes long, but if it's 3 or 4 minutes long, chock full of kicks, just like these kickoffs that we're watching here, it's really important that you maximize the time that you're actually utilizing on film. So anytime that he's watching the film, it's of you, turn man, making a break and trying to take it down the sideline, or 15 seconds of the field goal unit getting ready to kick a kick. So eliminate all that dead weight there, and only have great stuff. And then the last thing is the consecutive kicks, and it's pretty straightforward from what it sounds. It's basically you going out with a buddy or 2 buddies and kicking a bunch of kicks in consecutive format, not breaking up the film. And what that kind of shows a college coach is it shows them, oh, this is how good this kid is for 10 out of 10 field goals or 10 out of 10 punts. This is his consistency. This is how good he can do. If a college coach is looking at a consecutive kicks film and it's not even consecutive format, you're cutting in between kicks, then the coach is going to have no choice but to assume you're cutting out the bad ones and you're only showing them the great ones, right? So with this shows consistency. This shows, oh, this is how good I can do 10 out of 10, right? Or 12 out of 12, or 8 out of 8, or however many balls you have to kick. Try it a couple times. The coaches aren't going to assume that oh, you just went out there and kicked 10 balls and then called it a day. A quality coach is going to assume that you took quite a few attempts and sent your best one. But nonetheless, all you're saying right there is, this is how good I am, 10 out of 10 kicks. So we'll run a couple here just the same, and you'll kind of see what we're talking about there. Punts are easy because they go fast, but you can kind of see, again, we have the direction, we have the distance, we have the hang time, we have the operation. Operation is kind of overlooked at the high school level a lot, but not really at the college level. So it's important to know that your operation time is going strong. Looks like we got a little dragging on going on here. So again, it's the same thing for kickoffs. Kickoffs, you want to do directional, you want to do hang time, you want to do distance. Even though a lot of the competitions around there, they just say kick it as high as far as you can, which is fine. If you know how to kick it deep left or kick it deep right, you're going to be that much more valuable than the next guy. And for field goals, line up in 10 different locations, starting from at least the 20-yard line. Don't sit there at extra point range because you're expected to make all your kicks. Just start off at the minimum, I'd say the 20-yard line, and move back from there as your skill allows. And again, that's kind of all we're doing is we're running. So for punts, it's a 3-man operation, and for field goals, it's a 2-man operation. For kickoffs, it's a 2-man operation. So you're gonna need to grab a buddy or a family member to run the camera, and then for punts, you'll need a buddy or a family or your snapper in high school level to toss you some balls. So again, 2 great examples of the film that we're talking about, and 1 great example of the highlight film. So all 3 of those should be able to show you exactly how good you are for evaluating for colleges. Excuse me while I try to get back to where I'm at here. Excuse me, kind of lost in where I'm going. There we are. All right, so as we're talking about, so those 3 things are basically what you want to do for how do I get off my screen here? don't share screens anymore. Can't figure out how to stop us sharing my screen. But anyway, we're about to wrap it up anyway. So in the grand scheme of things, it's all about presenting yourself in the right form or fashion and making it easy for a coach to find you. So when a coach is looking to find you, it's important that he can do so easily. And like I said, that's why I like the websites that I stress all my guys get something where it's www.nickfleming.com or nickflemingkicker.com. So that way, when they type it into the URL address, it's easy for them to find. There's a lot of businesses that'll help you kind of get recruited, and some of them are great, some of them aren't so great. But I'm not a big fan of having it saying www.recruitingcompany.com/1228477/ Fleming, enter, and then that's how you get to your profile. It's not going to pop very good, very easy. So that's why I like the URL address. Keep the websites basic. Try to find something that's very cookie cutter, something that you can easily update, easily make sure that it's easy to handle, so that there's no bugs or issues or broken links or anything like that in your website. And then and in the website, keep it to information that a coach is going to want to see, and make sure that the highlight film and the consecutive kicks film are front and center, because that's really all they're looking for anyway. And if they like what they see in those, then they'll go back to the website and see the references and see your contact information and see the grades, etc., and so forth. For the consecutive kicks film, a reminder, keep it as short as you can when you're doing your field goals. Don't have it be 10 minutes long where you're walking for 45 seconds in between each kick to the next kick. After you kick one kick, pick your tee up, jog to the next one, take your time while you're setting up and actually kicking the kick. But in between kicks, jog to the next one. Anything over 5 minutes is probably too long for field goals. Anything over 3 minutes is probably too long for kickoffs or punts. Kickoffs, you don't need to have 10 or 12 kickoffs. You can, 5, 3, 4, 5 is probably plenty to show your skill there. And for punts, if you can find 10 balls is great. And for highlight film, try to make sure that it's short, 3 to 4 minutes long. And like I said, it only includes your kicking. It only includes stuff that you're doing. It's important that we're not showing, like I said, our other teammates making a great tackle, or us in formation for 10 seconds before we snap the ball. Make sure all those seconds count in the highlight film so that you can capitalize on coach's attention. Again, obviously we had a lot of technical difficulties in this one, so I'll probably broadcast this one again, but we'll see how it looks, and we'll go from there. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, check us out, www.allamericankicking.com. Like us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, or excuse me, subscribe to us on YouTube, not like us on Facebook and Twitter and the whole 9 yards. Thanks, guys.